Welcome to 5 Day Snacks, your go-to podcast for insights on thriving in dynamic and fast-growing teams. Here, we aim to reflect, pause, and rethink our daily grind for a better, more human future. I'm your host Mansi, and today we are joined by a special guest, Vineet Singh. Vineet is the founder and CEO of Castler, India's leading escrow infrastructure service provider, and has partnered with more than 12 banks and offer a combination of escrow account services, trusteeship, and automated workflows, the one-stop shop for all your escrow needs in India. Vineet is a seasoned entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in the Indian startup industry. He has held leadership positions at Naukri, 99 Acres, and MobiKwik. His first stint with entrepreneurship was in 2015 when he founded Buildazar.com, marketplace for building materials and finishing products. Castler is his second stint. Let's give a warm welcome to Vineet, the founder of Castler, a pioneer in field of digital identifier banking in India. Vineet, thank you so much for being here, and we welcome you to the 5 Day Snacks podcast.
Thank you, Mansi, for inviting me. And when you first invited me, I thought, which is this company by the name of 5 Day Snacks? And what do they do? I usually don't do these kind of things. But I
Right.
thought, okay, it will be interesting considering when I fully understood your agenda and intent. So I thought that, okay, why not? Let's have the conversation.
And we are very excited to have you here, and I'm especially very excited to
Yeah,
get this conversation going.
sure.
Yeah. So before we get into our conversation, I would like to set expectations for our listeners. Today, we are going to try and map a blueprint of scaling excellence as we have Vineet with here after such a long time. I would say we had a lot of back and forth. So let's get started. We'll be exploring Vineet's incredible journey, his expertise in scaling businesses, and his vision for the future of fintech and e-commerce. Vineet, I'm excited to learn everything I can. So let's just directly jump into it. I would
Sure.
like to, absolutely. So I would like to start a little bit by reflecting. I would like to talk a little bit about how your journey in the fintech industry began and how, what were some of the defining moments that shaped your path to building Castler?
Well, that's a long story. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to write a book about that, but I'll try to summarize it as succinctly as possible.
Yeah,
So, look, I got into startups way back 24 years ago in the year 2000.
right,
Okay. And that was the time when the first meltdown, internet meltdown also happened. I joined a company called Naukri.com as the ninth employee.
right,
And it was a very humble kind of a startup. We did very well. We were the first Indian internet company to IPO in November 2006.
right,
First $1 billion listed company as well. So I had a long, around almost 15 years stint with them.
right,
Okay, so if you want to talk about reflection, I think sometime during this 15-year career, okay, the reflection phase started. It lasted for a few years, if I can be
right,
truly honest. Okay, and the trigger was nothing extraordinary. Okay, life was very smooth. After you can say 10 hard years, we had built a large, stable, sustainable company which was doing very well, paying me reasonably well, and life was very smooth and sexy, if I can put
right,
it that way.
right.
But then I thought I started my career as a very humble salesman. Still, I am a salesman only. Okay. And I had never thought that I will work in an internet company, reach the top, be business head, CBO of a large business, employing 1,300, 1,400 people, and so
Right.
on. And constantly, I used to get this thought that, hey, Vineet, you were not planned for this and you have achieved this. So why not give a shot at something more, something
Right.
bigger
Right.
than what you have already done? And it was just this itch, or in North India, we call it kida. Okay. So this
Yeah.
was this kida which constantly at the back of my mind kept on prodding me that itne mein kyun khush ho jana, try for more.
Right.
Okay, the gods have been kind. Lady Luck has you can say shown on you for many years.
Yeah.
So give your luck a try and become a proper entrepreneur.
Right.
So after 15 years, I ended my period of reflection and took the plunge, left my cushy job at InfoEdge and became an entrepreneur and started Buildzar, which
Right.
was a marketplace for construction materials.
Right.
Okay. So this was the end result of a few years of reflection.
Hmm.
And the end result was extremely painful.
Right.
Why? Why? Because I failed in my first entrepreneurial stint. Okay.
Right.
I had shut it down in 20 months and it was very painful. I used to think, like a lot of other people who have tasted success for a sustained period in their life, that they can achieve anything and everything and they will never fail. But I ended up failing.
Right.
So that was a very brutal lesson, frankly, between all of us. And then I had to pick up a job all over again, and I became CBO of MobiKwik. Okay,
Right.
and I spent around slightly less than 2 years there,
Hmm.
and then the next phase started. Okay, but I'll I'll take a pause here and let you continue the conversation.
Okay, absolutely. I think we are at the perfect timing here because my very next question with you was going to be that can you share an example with me about scaling efforts that you did that didn't go as planned and what you learned from those experiences if you have something to pass on to our listeners today?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So look, what I learned in Info Edge, in Naukri and 99 Acres journey was typically starting up and scaling.
Right,
So the entire 0 to 1, 1x to 10x, and the 10x to 100x journey. Okay.
right.
So we became very good at it. Okay.
Hmm.
And but despite you becoming very good at it, sometimes you fail. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what didn't work out was that I had most of my experience in enterprise businesses. 15
Right,
years I spent in Info Edge. Okay. And suddenly I was trying to build a consumer-facing marketplace selling construction materials where the average transaction size was a couple of lakh rupees, right?
right,
And this market was entirely hyper-local, a transaction in cash payment kind of a transaction,
right,
right? Okay, involving a lot of credit as well.
right.
So I had not, you can say, factored for
Hmm.
uh, the right time period in the journey here. Okay.
Right,
So one takes an endeavor to build this kind of a business where during the journey you want to change consumer customer behavior as well.
right.
That's a very big journey. It's like a Amazon and Flipkart kind of a journey.
Got it.
And
Yeah.
despite all my experience and everything, I dropped the ball somewhere. And we
Right,
did not factor in the longevity of the journey in that
right,
sense. That is
right,
number one. Point number two was that sometimes it is not about you, the kind and quality of your team, the amount of hard work, and maybe the results as well.
right,
Sometimes things are just not made to happen in that
right,
manner.
right,
Okay, so we had a great team. I think we had, compared to some other startups in our own sector, we had great numbers to show for,
right,
okay, in terms of performance. But there was a big slowdown in 2015-16 in
right,
the consumer commerce market in India. A lot of bad news hit India and investors,
right,
and we just got drowned in that slowdown, frankly.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
so look, depending upon very few hardcore product or pure tech businesses get built in India. Okay.
Right.
Now, these businesses can get built in a few years.
Hmm.
Okay. Other businesses usually involve a lot of operating expertise,
Right,
which you bring on the table or which you develop over a period of execution, many
right,
years, right?
right.
So typically, a good business in India gets built over 8-10 years.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you've got to fathom the time period of the journey, depending
hmm.
upon the kind of quality of business that you are building. So I
Right,
think this is the first advice that I'd like to give to budding entrepreneurs or other entrepreneurs who are building and scaling right now,
right,
is that time period is extremely important. Okay. Look, a lot of businesses who have won, their story and their victory is not about best product, best team, best execution.
right.
Okay. A lot of these stories are about last man standing. Okay. कि that
Absolutely.
कौन जिंदा रहा,
Yeah,
okay, to enjoy the benefits of longevity in that
yeah,
sense, right?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that is one advice. Otherwise, scaling is a brutal journey. You have to learn a lot. One
Yeah.
anecdote I give to everybody is that uh, early in the life cycle of Naukri, the market was very, very overcrowded.
Hmm.
Okay. We had two strong domestic competitors, Jobs Ahead and Times Jobs. They
Right.
were both heavily funded. And we had, I think, four global competitors. Monster was a $5 billion company then. We had Jobs Ahead. We had Job Street from Singapore, Jobs DB from Malaysia, and Stepstone from Belgium.
Right.
So there were seven players, including Naukri, in the market.
Right.
And apart from, you can say, our North India business, all other markets, South and West, where I focused more on in the
Hmm.
initial period of my Info Edge career, we were very weak. We were number
Right.
4, 5, 6, that kind
Right.
of. So initially, it was very tough. And we used to hire lateral managers. Now, nothing against lateral managers, but a business like Naukri.com did not exist in 2000, 2001.
Right.
Okay. We gave birth to that business.
Right.
So we used to hire lateral managers and we had to train them like freshers. And
Right.
there used to be resistance. Why? Because they had come with experience in the past in other corporates. And
Hmm.
they used to say that यहाँ पे ऐसा होता है, things work like this here. And we used to tell them, hey, look, this is a new narrative. This is totally a new business. So we
Right.
have to learn and then start
Absolutely.
afresh.
Absolutely.
And then I thought one day that, okay, why not hire freshers?
Hmm.
And 2002, I think, was the first year. And my bosses were very amiable, Sanjeev and Hitesh. And we hired the first lot of freshers in Mumbai. And MET was the first college in Mumbai, first campus where I went to.
Right.
And everything changed after that. I hired, I think, 5 freshers that year. All 5 within their 6 months started selling more than their 7, 8 year experienced counterparts.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then, as a rule, compared to our competitors, we kept on hiring freshers, treating them well, trained them well, and they outsold, out executed, outlasted everybody in the market. Okay.
Right.
So, this is one simple trick which we got right at the
Yeah.
cost of one lateral manager of my competitor. I
Yeah.
used to hire I used to hire 3 freshers.
Right.
And वो फ्रेशर भी उतनी सेल करता था जितना lateral manager करता है, right?
Yeah.
So our numbers became better over a period of time. And naturally, we were a very strong, aggressive, sales-driven kind of a company. Okay.
Right.
And that ultimately led us to resulted in the best product because we
Hmm.
had the most number of clients, we had the most number of salespeople. We used to
Right.
collect the largest amount of feedback from HR managers and recruiters.
Right.
Because of feedback, we were able to build the best product in the market. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
बाकियों को पता ही नहीं था कि that what do recruiters want, what do
Yeah.
HR managers want, right?
Yeah.
Because we had the jobs, we had the candidates as well. We had job
Right.
seekers on us. So we knew better what job seekers want as well. So
Right.
everything clicked in. Something has to work, it works.
Yeah.
Okay. The,
Absolutely.
the gods conspired. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That way. Okay. A
Yeah.
lot of people tell me you guys were very lucky. So luck plays a big role in
Right.
success,
Right.
especially out of the world, humongous success on the business side. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Absolutely. Those are some incredible insights, Vineet. Thank you so much. I think our, especially young entrepreneurs and new listeners will definitely appreciate that. I personally learned a lot from that insight. So thank you so much for sharing that. I
Sure.
think now, I think we should move a little towards pausing. Let's pause and distill some essential takeaways here. With experience across various sectors, how do you sort of reevaluate after the stint that you had for 20 months? How do you sort of reassess, reevaluate, and apply lessons learned from there to another industry, which is Kassler now?
Sure, sure. So I'll take you back to a before Castler period in my journey.
Sure.
So I joined MobiKwik. I was fairly settled there, and then again, this unfortunate period of pause came into my
Hmm.
life for
Hmm.
no reason. Okay, it comes to certain people. It usually doesn't come to most of the people,
Right.
and it came because I realized that during my 15 years in InfoEdge, I had become too used or accustomed to a certain leadership style. Okay.
Right.
So I had become, you can say, addicted to the leadership style of Sanjeev and Hitesh at InfoEdge.
Right.
Okay. And I used to feel something different, something unnerving, or
Hmm.
something stressful when I was working elsewhere. It forced me to take a very drastic decision. It
Right.
forced me to take a decision that I will not work with anybody again.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I
Right.
came to the conclusion that it's very difficult to find that kind quality and level of leadership. Okay. And rather than wasting my time and effort and getting stressed, I decided that Vineet, the best way for you uh, is to start over all over again. Okay,
Right.
you can only work for yourself.
Right.
So start up this all over again. Okay,
Right.
and then, so I quit MobiKwik, and I decided that I'm not gonna do a job again.
Hmm.
And I spent, I think, the next 12 months spending my time with some founders in consulting kind of assignments
Right.
while trying to hunt for new ideas.
Right.
During this period, I wasted some time and maybe reasonable amount of money as well in trying out some new ideas.
Right.
And finally, the Castler idea struck me.
Right.
Okay. And when I sold a used car to a online platform, they promised to pay me in 30 minutes. I signed all the papers. They took the car and the keys. The money did not come. I followed up with the company, found the founders, pinged one of the founders, found their investors, pinged one of their investors. Still, the money took 10 days to come.
Right.
And this was a reasonably high value transaction, it caused a reasonable amount of stress. कि
Right.
गाड़ी नहीं है, गाड़ी तो चली
Yeah.
गई, but
Yeah.
पैसे भी नहीं आए. Okay.
True.
So it was a conundrum. And whom do I run to? Okay.
Yeah.
I from the startup world, so I could reach out to start founders and investors. Let's say, Mansi, you had sold your car
Yeah.
and you don't come to this industry. What would you have done? Okay.
Nothing. I would have just
So,
count my
I thought that
losses. Yeah.
how can consumers be protected from this kind of a high value transaction when you sell a
True.
house, when you sell a used vehicle where the amount is slightly high,
Yeah.
when you transact with unknown people, okay?
Yeah.
How to protect your interests, okay? And then some Google search and research got me to the escrow stack, the escrow solution, which had been built by escrow.com in 1989 in the US.
Right.
And I got inspired by them and started thinking of it, and that's how Castler started. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think a very interesting point that you mentioned is that I believe you said you wasted a certain amount of time and resources behind trying out a few ideas. But I think, given how successfully you have scaled Castler today, it was very well worth it, I would say.
So it looks like now there is
Yeah.
some empirical evidence that the journey will be worth it. Okay.
Yeah.
We are still at a very, very kindergarten stage in
Right.
building and scaling the Castler business.
Right.
तो जैसे दिल्ली वाले बोलते हैं, मानसी, दिल्ली अभी दूर है, बहुत दूर है अभी दिल्ली. Okay, so but yes, we seem to be on a strong wicket. What we have built is finding takers in the market. We are able to monetize it well. We have a great pipeline. We have a great run rate. And it looks like, yes, we are on our way towards building a serious business.
Yes.
So, but success is still, I think, a few years away. So, कितना worthwhile होगा ये तो मैं अभी नहीं बता सकता. अभी तक तो loss ही है, frankly, if I can be honest. Okay. And every budding entrepreneur, every experienced professional, okay, or slightly aged professional, if you start into getting into starting a business, you
Yeah.
should be aware of this fact that it's a long, lonely journey, okay,
Right.
at the end of the day.
Right.
It requires a lot of sacrifice and pain.
Right.
So there is a saying, no gain without pain. Okay,
Absolutely.
entrepreneurship is about there is a lot of pain for many years first, okay, with no
Absolutely.
chances of success. So, but you can say now that I can confidently say, yeah, we are onto something. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we also discussed a very interesting point here that how leadership sort of plays a very, very big role in terms of scaling because you were at a very prominent position in MobiKwik, right? So how you came up, like sort of made the decision to start something of your own. So we sort of got insights into how leadership plays a very important role in this. So I think my next question would be that what sort of there are a lot of challenges that come with rapid growth. So do you have any advice for young leaders who, how they should sort of cultivate resilience within their teams and how they should mold their team in a way that it is set up for success later on?
Absolutely. Okay. And this is extremely important, especially in financial services, if you are building a regulated business, right? Where
Right,
you have to report regulator. Okay.
right.
So simple advice is, look, this is a long journey. Okay.
Yeah,
If you are onto something good, nobody can take it away from you. Okay.
absolutely.
Oh, there needs to be no FOMO that
Yeah,
if you are not the fastest scaler, you will get decimated from the market. ऐसा कुछ
right,
नहीं होता. Okay.
right.
जो ये बोलते हैं scale fast or perish or somebody else will run away with your idea or business, ये सब बकवास है. Okay. There's
Right.
no truth in all this. I think as entrepreneurs, promoters, find a level of find that threshold of growth
Hmm.
with which you can live with and sleep peacefully. Okay.
Hmm.
That growth can be, it should be minimum be, I think 50, 100% a year. Okay. It can be maybe 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x as well,
Right,
depending upon where you can stay in control.
right.
Okay. What does stay in control means? Stay in control means in a single line, manage risk.
Hmm.
Okay. So, especially in financial services, the kind and quality of customers you onboard and work with, okay, defines your longevity or the survival of your business.
Right,
So please learn to manage risk.
right,
Okay. And so risk and growth go hand in hand. It has to be managed from day zero, day one.
right,
So please understand the intricacies of your management team, your promoter team. Uh, what are the areas in which you are good at? What are your key strengths? And what you can manage? Which are the areas, or what are the areas where you can manage risk
right,
100%?
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh, Financial services, budding entrepreneurs in financial services, if you don't have the skills to manage risk, please don't get into this business. Get into some other business.
Right,
Okay. Because it has to be in your bloodstream. Managing risk is a way of life. It has to be in your DNA at a psyche level.
right.
Okay. You have to think like a risk-averse entrepreneur. For
Right.
example, Castler, if a customer comes and where the customer agrees to pay us a fee which nobody has ever paid before,
Hmm.
rather than becoming very happy that, wow, this customer is paying us so much amount of money, we say no to the customer.
Right.
Okay. Because poor quality customers pay you obscene rates.
Right.
Okay. Good quality or better quality customers pay you what you deserve.
Right.
Okay. Pay you fair value. Poor
Right.
quality customers pay anything that you demand.
Hmm.
Okay. तो कहीं
Very
और चलता होगा
interesting.
ये.
Yeah.
Okay. That you can sell a small brand TV at the price of a Sony TV. If you are a TV seller and get away with it.
Right.
But in fintech, financial services, you cannot get away with it.
Right.
Okay. You have to say no to that operator. You have to say no to that customer.
Right.
Okay. That's how risk-centric or smart risk assessment you have to learn doing.
Right.
Okay. Also, learn from your partners. Okay.
Hmm.
For a lot of fintechs, their partners are regulated entities.
Right.
Okay. तो लोग पार्टनरशिप तो कर लेते हैं बट उसके बाद भूल जाते हैं उनसे कोई एडवाइस नहीं लेते ना उनसे सीखते हैं.
True.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And so a lot of people got into lending and thought that the older lending companies don't know how to do business because they are growing at 20-30% a year. And we will show them how growth happens. We will grow at 10x, 20x every year.
Right.
Now everybody is learning that no, ऐसी बात नहीं है. उनको भी धंधा करना आता था. They were managing risk.
Right. Right.
Okay. So I
Absolutely.
think let's stick to financial services only. Why go outside financial services? Because we are more of a tech fin company. We are a
Hmm.
technology fintech
Right.
rather than a fintech right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we operate in the non-regulated space right now. Okay. Who
Right.
knows about the future? I don't know. But I am a big enthusiast of TechFin right now in India. I think the
Right.
market is opening. There is acceptability, and you just have to learn to manage risk. And yes, I think uh, managing growth is proportional to managing risk. You can
Right.
only grow by a certain percentage, a certain multiple, if you have to manage risk in a seamless kind of a manner. So
Right.
it's a compromise.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vineet. So let's rethink of future a little bit. What trends do you sort of foresee shaping the future of fintech and e-commerce industries in the next 5 to 10 years, I would say? Because generative AI has played a very big role, and I would like to really get your insights about that.
Sure, sure. So, like in Castler, I individually at a personal level rethink almost every third month.
Right.
Why? Because the business is scaling and a lot of things are happening in the market as well, right?
Right.
Like I loved the idea of Castler because I thought it solves a genuine consumer problem.
Right.
Okay. But then problem solve कर रहे हो इसमें पैसे बनेंगे कि नहीं बनेंगे, right?
Right.
Okay. So खाली आइडिया एंड प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के लिए बिजनेस बनाना है तो अपने पैसे से बनाओ. But
Right.
if you're going to take outside money, then you have to give returns as well, right? Then you got to think
Absolutely.
about revenue and returns, etc. and so on. So I fell into love into the escrow idea, and then I thought कि that इसमें पैसे कैसे बनेंगे? So I fell more deeply in love with escrow banking because Mansi, this is the only financial product for which a customer pays upfront money, pays upfront fee.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to open a savings account, current account, demat account, a mutual fund account, trading account, insurance account. Everything is for free.
Right.
You want to open an escrow account, you have to pay a fee
Right.
upfront, and every year you want paying fee.
Right.
So I started loving escrow more because यहाँ पे customer पैसा देता है, upfront भी देता है और हर साल पैसे देगा.
Yeah.
Okay, as they keep on using the escrow account, right?
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to rethink कि चलो I have fallen in love. अब इससे धंधा कैसे बनाना है? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so me and my partners, we take a pause every third, fourth month, and we rethink or try to rethink that what the future holds for us.
Right.
So we are into scaling journey. We are in
Hmm.
the 1x to 10x stage right now,
Right.
and this year Castler will scale by 4 to 5x.
Right.
Okay, with exemplary risk management processes. So let's hope for the best. And from the future, as I said, I think fintech was a huge category. Last decade, success story in financial services in India has been the success of fintech. I think the next decade will not only be about fintech, it will be about techfin as well. It will be about
Right.
technology companies disrupting fintech through pure technology.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Uh, and will these companies continue to remain unregulated, or will there be some licensing or regulatory control or oversight over technology companies servicing the BFI sector in India as well, BFSI sector in India as well? I don't know about that. That is
Right.
somebody else's job. But you got
Right.
to build your business in a manner where maybe anything and everything can happen. Okay. So,
Absolutely.
I think the slowdown of last, you can say, 18 odd months has been very, very healthy for the Indian startup ecosystem.
Right.
Almost every sector was overcrowded, overfunded.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, uh, when a sector becomes too hot, the first thing that happens is that quality of operators, the quality reduces.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the moment the quality of operator reduces, there are problems, especially in regulated sectors like financial services. Okay.
Right.
That's why these sectors should never become too hot.
Right.
Like every Charlie is getting funding.
Yeah.
That's not,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm saying this, but that's not a good state to be in financial services, frankly.
Right.
It can be
Right.
other sectors which are unregulated. आपको जो करना है करो.
Yeah.
But financial services में quality of operator is extremely important.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Future, I think future is very bright. We are building an AI product of our own.
Okay.
We'll test waters and see what happens. Our agenda of building an AI product is that we should be able to sell it at a higher price and make more money out of it while solving key customer problems.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
But I think I am you can say, a patient watcher. So I want to wait for the AI humdrum and noise to die. Maybe that will happen over the next 9-12 month period,
Right.
hopefully.
Right.
Too much of noise, again, overcrowding, overfunding.
Yeah.
Okay, AI करना क्या है? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, till date, nobody has approached me with a solution which is gonna change life for me or my business.
Right.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
maybe somebody is building them, or we'll build it ourselves. We'll build
Right.
it up for us, for our customers. So, but yes, I think there will be humongous impact of AI. We are deep students of that space. We are building something in that. October, I think, is our probable launch. We will launch something AI centric in October.
All right.
Uh, that should be, I think, game changing for our business. Let's see what happens. And
Absolutely.
and I think, yeah, the Indian fintech has been going through a period of turmoil over the last 24, 30 odd months.
Right.
I think I expect over the next 12, 18 months for this market to stabilize as well.
Right.
And then great things will be in store for patient operators.
Yeah.
I think there will be great acquisition opportunities in the market over the next 12, 18 months. And we are waiting for that kind of a market.
So, before we let you go, where can our listeners learn more about Castler and connect with you?
So I think our website, Castler.com, is the best place. Some people tell me that it's not a website, it's a Wikipedia for escrow banking.
Right.
So yeah. But even some of my investors, when they agreed to come on board, they said they don't know too much about escrow banking.
Right.
So I thought that sometimes I think, and we are in a business where concept selling has to happen.
Right.
So you have to focus on content and evangelizing to the masses as well.
Right.
So we built a very content-rich site.
Right.
It's extremely information heavy. So
Okay.
you can learn about not only Castler, but escrow banking at castler.com. Otherwise, call me, send me a mail, and I myself will explain everything about Castler and escrow banking to you guys. So always open for a good conversation, okay,
Uh,
or a good meeting.
yeah.
So uh, that's the best way. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is perfect. Thank you so much for sharing your story and insights with our listeners today, Vineet. I highly, highly appreciate it. We were very, very excited to have you, and I enjoyed our conversation very much.
Thank you, Mansi. Appreciate the opportunity. Had a great chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you to our listeners for joining on 5day.io's next podcast. Until next time, please remember to take a moment to reflect, pause, and rethink.